Mike with 3G Construction at 3163 East Ridge. Here looking at the engineer report and trying to put everything together so we can make a plan, or at least give you the resources you need to help you make a decision. One of the first things that the engineer is recommending is that you have proper grade or slope up next to the house. As you're walking up next to the front door, and you gotta forgive my camera, it's a little blurry because I have a scratch on the lens, but you can see the way my hand is. That's kind of the way the walkway is, and it continues onto the asphalt and then goes off the side of the hill. So the water's shedding away from the house. The engineer's concern, and I would agree with him 100%. We do a lot of flood mitigation on residential homes. One of the biggest culprits is you get negative drainage towards the house, and it gets back behind the foundation and can cause that foundation to move. Whether the soils can be expanding or freezing, but you definitely don't want water away, in next to the foundation. You want it away from the house, so you want it to slope the other way. This area right here would have to be regraded. So what we'd have to do is move all this stuff out of the way, bring in some dirt, and get the proper grade or slope away from the house. Also, looks like you had a couple clean outs installed here, so they must have done some excavation here, and this is kind of eroded or sunk in. We'd want to fill this in as well, so this is not just standing water. Over here near the deck, it looks like you've had some pressure come up against the house here. I'm limited on what I can see under the deck, but from what I can see, the water is coming right towards the house here like this. And I believe that the reason why the deck is buckling right here is because there's a little bit of movement because of that water. So the proper way to do this, unfortunately, would be to move the deck, get the deck out here, and bring in some dirt, make some adjustments to the grade so you get proper drainage. I know that's not what you want to hear, but I don't see any other way how you can do it properly. The way that this is, it's just the water's coming right towards the house, and I'm pretty sure the engineer and the inspector have caught on to that as well. Same thing on this side of the house. The water is moving right next to the house. And unfortunately, on the back side, it's pretty much the entire north side of the house. This right here is going towards the house. To at best, it's level, but there's really nowhere for the water to go here. There's nowhere to go. The roof drainage going to the downspout is coming down. It looks like someone's hooked up a drain here, but I just can't see how that would work properly. A bigger drain going into a smaller drain like that, and we don't even know where that goes. And I haven't been able to identify any areas around the house that would allow the drainage to drain away from the house. It just goes into the ground, and then that's all we know. So on this side, I would recommend getting rid of this concrete, rid of these pavers, and rid of the deck. And then we'd adjust this grade. We'd take this downspout and just put a kicker on right here next to an extension right next to the air conditioner, and have it exit away from the house. And then we would adjust the grades so the water is going to shoot out this way and down the hill. The other problem area is this retaining wall. I don't know if you can catch that or not. The stairs are leaning towards the retaining wall. I would suggest building up the grade next to this foundation wall as well, so we can keep the water flowing away from retaining wall. It seems like a big deal, but it's going to be a bigger deal when the retaining wall completely fails because of the water. We have a long run here. We have a retaining wall that's actually holding up part of the roof as well. Another roof drain or downspout. It's coming down. Looks like someone's kind of put something together here. It doesn't look very professional, but I tried undigging the pipe to see where it goes, but have not been able to identify where that would come out. So what I'm thinking, since this retaining wall has negative drainage against the entire wall going all the way down, is building up all the way down and putting either a swell or a French drain coming down all the way down to where we just turned the corner. And we can't really go up in this way unless you did a sump pump that was mechanically driven, because we'd have to bore a hole through on this wall and then have it empty out on this side to the new grade. It's really the only way I can see it without mechanically driving the water away from the house, the sump pump. And you'd still, regardless, you'd still have to collect the water up next to the foundation one way or another anyways. So building up some dirt up against the foundation would be the best thing to do. I think we'd also take some of this. It's kind of flaking off here. Make some repairs and then put an emulsion on this back wall. So we'd pull this stuff away from the wall. Do some repairs. Not a whole lot of repairs are needed, but since we have it accessible, is go ahead and fix these voids here, and then go ahead and put in a coat of emulsion, black tar basically, on this whole back side, waterproofing, or these days it's called damp proofing, down this whole entire wall, and then filling some dirt or adding some dirt and putting a French drain coming down and then emptying on the back side of that wall. It's a lot of area to pick up water from this hill. But I think that's going to be your best bet as far as keeping it cost effective. I mean, you figure you got the water coming down this hill and it's just standing right at the back wall. It's starting to push it out a little bit. So we're dealing with two issues. We're dealing with the problem, which is a little bit of movement in the house, and then the cause of the problem, which is going to continue, which is the water. It's the drainage. So we have to make sure we get the water away from the house, or this is just going to be an ongoing challenge. But you can see, I clear some of this out of the way. You can see it's just kind of deteriorating the backside of this wall. We want to stop that. We want to be able to control this water and move it the way we want. Let me show you something else too before I leave here. I'll leave this back side. Here's the roof. You can see the downspout. The roof is catching, at least as far as this part of the roof, it's catching on this downspout and just emptying right behind the wall too. So there's a few areas that are just, there's some low spots that are just not proper. It needs to be addressed. So again, all this trash, I think the basketball hoop would have to go. Some of these shrubs, all the garbage, the trash, the wood, all the way down. We'd have to clear an area and pull some of the dirt back, repair the wall, seal the wall, and then add some dirt up against the wall so we got positive drainage and force that water into the drain, and it would naturally fall all the way down to this corner. Then what we'd have to do after that is we'd have to protect the new dirt by